Tonight, the family of a maintenance worker killed after an airplane tire exploded at the Atlanta airport. Well, that family now suing Delta Airlines. The lawsuit was filed by Luis Alderondo's loved ones. The 37-year-old from Noonan was one of two employees killed last August in that incident inside Delta's wheel and brake shop. The lawsuit claims Delta failed to provide adequate training and failed to ensure employees use proper safety precautions while doing wheel and tire maintenance. Delta was also issued a citation by OSHA and required to pay a $16,000 penalty. Now, just moments ago, we got this response from Delta Airlines saying, quote, "At Delta, nothing is more important than safety. Following the tragic incident, we launched a thorough investigation and have already implemented corrective actions that are consistent with those provided by OSHA."